So this problem is designed to ensure that you're using your calculator correctly. So if you're not getting this right, then chances are you're not using your calculator correctly. So we, in chemistry, in later chapters, are going to have to use this exponent key a lot. So it's really important that you know how to use the exponent key correctly. Now, before we look at our calculator, let's look at our math rules for solving this problem. 10 to the minus 15th is the same as 1 times 10 to the minus 15th, because anything multiplied by 1 is itself, divided by 3.9 times 10 to the minus 7. Now, to see if our answer is going to make sense or not, we're going to use the calculator to calculate this, but we just want to make sure that our answer is going to make sense. What we're going to do is we're going to divide this number here, 1, by 3.9, and then we're going to use our exponent rules for dividing these two powers of 10. You have the same base, which we do in this case. You keep the base, and then you subtract the lower exponent from the higher exponent. So we have 1 divided by 3.9 times 10 to the minus 15 minus negative 7. So, whoops. This becomes minus 15 plus 7 which becomes 10 to the minus 8. Now, let's look at 1 divided by 3.9. Oops. 1 divided by 3.9. And then my calculator gives me this value, 0.2564. I'll stop there, times 10 to the minus 8. Okay, so I notice that my values basically are in scientific notation. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put this answer in scientific notation. And again, I'm just making sure my answer from the calculator is going to make sense. We're going to go ahead and do this using the calculator. I have to make this number larger by one place value to get it in scientific notation. So this number here is going to go up by a power of 10. I'm going to multiply it by 10. So 2.5464, and all I'm doing is getting in scientific notation, which means I can only have one digit, non-zero digit, to the left of my decimal point. Now I can't change the overall value of this, so if I make this number larger by a power of 10, I've got to make this smaller by a power of 10. So this is the correct answer. And I am going to now look at using my calculator. All right, so let's go ahead and look over here. All right, so if you have a scientific calculator, what you want to do is, I think the easiest thing is to change this to 1 times 10 to the minus 15th. So we have 1 times 10 to the minus 15th. To enter this into the calculator, you punch 1, and then either your EE or your EXP button. You do not hit times, you do not hit 10, you just hit this number here, which is 1, and then the EE or the EXP button. And then negative 15. Now remember, this negative is not a minus. You're not minusing 15. It's a negative symbol, which is in a different button on your calculator than the minus symbol. So this is how we enter this value into our calculator. Or you could use parentheses and use the power of 10. If you use the power of 10, you have to use parentheses. So I prefer this way because it saves us the steps of parentheses, and if you forget to put the parentheses or you put the parentheses in the wrong place, it just makes things really hard. Okay, so now let me change my color of pen so we can look to the next one. Okay, so now we're going to hit divide because this fraction bar means divide. So if you've entered your 1 times 10 to the minus 15th this way or this way, we're now going to hit our division symbol. And then we're going to enter our second number. So here's our second number. And it is 3.9 times 10 to the minus 7. So do 3.9 EE or EXP minus 7. That's what we enter. We don't hit times 10. We don't hit times anything. It's just 3.9 EE or EXP minus 7. And then you hit the equal sign. And when you hit the equal sign, I'm doing mine on my calculator just to make sure I get it. When you hit the equal sign, you should get 2.564 times 10 to the minus 9th. Now, you could also put this in scientific notation using your parentheses, and I'll put that down here. So you'd have to put divide by 3.9 times 10 to the minus 7. But you would have to have that in parentheses. So if you don't want to use your EE or your EXP key, if that's too hard for you, then you can just use the power of 10, but you've got to put every value in parentheses. And then you've got to hit equal after every operation. So once you hit equal, this is what you should get. Now, if your calculator is not giving this to you in scientific notation, there is a way to get it in scientific notation, usually through the mode button, and I'm happy to help you during my office hours or talk with you over the phone. Every calculator is slightly different, so to be slightly different directions. But this is definitely the right answer. It makes sense just using my power rules, and then it would also make sense if I just knew how to use my calculator.